So let's try to understand what we don't know about transitions. Transitions are not just a time where we are shifting into a new job or we are getting promoted or we are becoming a new leader. Transitions are also when your boss changes, when you have a new team member, when you start reporting to a different person, when suddenly you're reporting into a different location, when you change your location. It could be anything because transitions change the dynamics. Transitions change your work style. Transitions create a completely new canvas, and you are left standing there wondering, am I ready for this? Have I prepared for this? And do I really have a plan to move ahead with this new boss or this new change or with this new peer or with this new team member? So it's extremely, extremely important. What is most important in a transition? Why does it really matter? It matters because transitions test your credibility. Transitions really are testing at all times how credible you are as a person. So with all the years of reputation management and public relations and corporate communications that I've done across 2 decades, what I've understood is that it takes one small incident to test your reputation. Similarly, for an individual, it takes one small mismatch of an understanding of a situation that could completely ruin their work life, that could completely ruin whatever they've done, because credibility is tested and only then do we know whether we are credible. So how do we build credibility? We understand the culture well. We build critical alliances. But what if those critical alliances shift? What if the culture changes? Then what do we do? And that is extremely important. How do you pick yourself up in such situations and you're able to actually change yourself in a transition? And that is what is of utmost importance. First is understanding what we can do. Secondly is understanding how we can do it for ourselves. And thirdly, how can we do it in an authentic, natural way so that it comes as part of our own natural style? Because this is not something that you can pretend to be. This is something that you have to work on consistently and either maintain your credibility or to build your credibility with a new set of stakeholders. So what are the things that one can do in that? I'm going to tell you just 3 things today. There are a whole list of things that one can do. So one is that it's good to be active, right? So what really happens is if there are new developments that happen, we become really, really active. However, we should not come across as nervous. We should come across as somebody who is in control, somebody who knows what he or she is doing, and somebody who's on their path, whether it's their work, whether it's their strategy, where they're navigating the transition, where they're not holding themselves back from talking to people, from working ahead, from changing that. And at the same time, they're open to adapt to the differences or the changes or the dynamics in the transition. For example, if it's a new boss, can I get my boss on board? Can I try to understand what are the needs of my new manager? If it's a new team member, how can I get my new team member, as part of this change? But it's basically navigating rather than stopping from moving. So that's extremely important, right? Because at all points, there are so many different things that we're doing, but every part of our work path is being captured by people. So we have to understand that before we make a wrong impression, we have to plan for the right work, which creates the right impression. You can't just fake an impression. You need to be on your path. That's one thing. The second thing that you can do is you can look at being very, very, decisive on tough calls, but at the same time being as authentic as possible. And for that, it's good to give a heads up to new people who've joined. It's good to give a heads up to other people of what kind of changes you're going to bring about. But at the same time, saying that you are really looking at the values, you are being humane about it. So this is more around persuasion. This is more around packaging your message and your path. This is more around a leadership move of telling people that you're in control and that they can trust you. That is such a credible move. So this is something that you can really, really keep in mind, especially when you need to make a very, very difficult decision, right? A third thing that I'll leave you with is to be accessible, but not to be too familiar. So, what does that really mean? That just means that you are here to work on a cause, you are here to work during the day. It's good to be friendly, it's good to be accessible, but not being too familiar really helps you to focus your energies on your main movements. So that you need to be very, very careful with. There should be less loose talk. There should be fewer conversations around gossiping and around this or that. And there should be more focus on how can I get more people on board? How can I build consensus? How can I take these tough calls? How can I really leverage these dynamics for the work that I'm here to do, right? So that's extremely important. Keep these three things in mind when you are going through a transition, and your transition is not just you in transition. It could be the organization in transition, it could be the team in transition, it could be your manager in transition. All the best, and do write into me if you have more queries. I will be posting more stuff on transitions, and this is extremely, extremely important, and it is a critical point in your career. So you should ensure that you are handling this to the best of your ability. This is Alka signing off. Bye bye, and see you soon.